She said yes. Man, I have so much to catch up on. So 2021 has been pretty much the worst year I have personally ever gone through. So back in March, our neighbor set fire to his apartment after a domestic dispute and burned down the entire building. We managed to get 3 of our cats out, but Pepper we couldn't find anywhere, so unfortunately we did lose Pepper. He'd been with me for 13 years, so it was really a hard loss, and I still miss him every day, so it's been hard. After the apartment burned down, my husband lost his job. He has a new job now, which is much better than his old one. Like, better pay, better hours. He works remote, so he gets to stay at home, which is awesome. So much better. But it was a rough few months before he found that. We lived on a friend's couch for a while. We did find an apartment, which is too expensive and full of bugs, so we're moving as soon as the lease is up. And then over the summer, my aunt died of surprise stage 4 cancer. And then my grandmother died a few months afterwards, after she broke her hip, but she was 96, so it kind of wasn't unexpected, but at the same time it was hard. So it really has not been the best of years, but we are coming out of the year. Today is New Year's Eve, which means tomorrow we can leave this absolutely horrendous year behind and start afresh. I did try to get a couple of costume projects done over this year, and I had a couple of events planned that I was going to go to, and they fell through because I had severe diverticulitis attack me for one of them. And for the other event I tried to go to, I ended up getting food poisoning the morning of and had to cancel that as well. So this has just been a year of disasters. But it wasn't all terrible. I can honestly say it wasn't like continuously bad events. My husband did get a better job out of all of this. Everyone in the costuming community and the Star Trek community and the law enforcement community, which I'm a part of, all came together after the fire and just were such an enormous support and comfort, and really helped us get back on our feet, because if it hadn't been for all of you guys, I honestly don't know what we would have done. I really don't know how to thank you guys enough. I didn't expect to get emotional. I'm so glad I picked a crowded park to do this in. So hopefully security doesn't kick me off. So 2022 in the costume realm, I really need to rebuild my costume wardrobe. Everything that fit and all the undergarments that supported those looks all went up in the fire. As of right now, I have one costume that I finished over the summer mostly, and it was for an event that got canceled because I got sick. I had one corset in the storage unit that still fit. I didn't do a great job when I first made that corset, and it stretches pretty severely on the bias, which means that it doesn't quite fit the way it's supposed to. So I'm gonna have to eventually remake that corset anyway, and it's not even for a time period that I do that often. So it's very much a temporary measure. January starts tomorrow, and I already have plans for an event at the end of the month. So I need to get some 1840s and 30s undies done before I can even make a gown for that. And then from there, it's remaking stuff for the 1850s and the 1870s and the 1890s. So there's just so much to do that you don't realize how much stuff that you need until you don't have it. Not everything is going to be undie stuff, I promise. There are going to be costume exhibits and events and actual dress sewing as well, but there is going to be a good chunk of undies content in the future. Lots of corsetry and lots of skirt supports. I have some fun experiments with skirt supports coming up that involve piano wire and candle wicks and all sorts of craziness. So it's actually going to be a lot of fun to experiment with a few unusual materials and hopefully do it on the cheap. So yeah, depending on the state of the unnecessary. So depending on the state of the world, I do have a few events out of state planned. I am going to try and do costume college this year. I'm fingers crossed hoping to go to England for an event in October. That is very much a wait and see kind of situation, so it's kind of up in the air. Also, depending on plague conditions and whether the event goes forward or not, I may be going to Colonial Williamsburg for their garden party. Last year they postponed it to the fall, and if they do that again this year, that'll interfere with the England trip and I won't be able to do it. Between the two, England, definitely. One of the things I have been thinking about is that a lot of my costume projects have felt a little rushed in the past, and I want to get back to doing some of the more labor-intensive, detail-oriented stuff that I used to do when I was younger. Like, I did a lot of hand embroidery and hand beading, and I haven't done that in a very long time, and I really do miss it. And I'd like to do some larger, more intensive projects like that again. And I have a few plans. I have a 1630s dress where I want to hand make the lace, and I have an 1890s dress that I want to hand bead. So those are going to be long-term projects. The 1630s dress I'm aiming for April, but we'll see. I don't want to, after this past year, I don't want to plan anything too precisely, because the universe will undoubtedly throw something at me. So yeah, that's it. Those are my vague plans for 2022. Lots of undergarments and corsetry, skirt supports, budget costuming because I'm still poor as dirt, but you know, I can still look fabulous while being monetarily challenged. I hope you all have a wonderful new year and that 2022 is better for all of us than 2021 was, because pretty much everyone that I know has talked about what a garbage year this has been. So I think we're all ready to put this one behind us. Thank you all for everything that you did for us after the fire. I love all of you, and I hope you have a great new year. Bye.